I've just, I've always, I've always known God was real. I've never questioned that. I'm Scott Tolbert. I'm a firefighter. Rescuing people is part of the job, and this is a story of how Jesus has rescued me. As a teenager, I got in trouble with the law. Switched price tags on something at a department store. The judge was merciful enough to give me an option. I had community service to do, and he's like, you can choose between a nursing home or a fire station. And I'm like, fire station. Definitely. And just fell in love with it. So we do have a public safety dive team, and we dive for any number of things. I mean, obviously it's we're there for rescue mode, and then obviously body recovery for some closure for families. My parents did get divorced when I was 16, and that sent me and my sister kind of spiraling. He pretty much just kind of left us all for a few years. So that was really tough. Was had a close relationship with Christ, but when my parents got divorced, I think it sent us spiraling, and just at that point, I just kind of walked away after about 18, 19 years old. Just kind of started walking away from it and getting away from faith. It set me on a trajectory for a period for several years with my wife. That we got married, and she had a very troubled childhood, extremely unfortunate childhood. We had met in high school, and then we got back together at age 19, and we're married at 21. But two broken people that didn't know how to do things right and had walked away from our faith. We ended up having 3 kids 2 years apart. Sydney was first, then Logan, my only son, and then Hannah, and then Addison. She came 9 years after Hannah. Yeah, I mean, she struggled deeply with her past and the trauma from her past, and we tried counseling and therapies and books, and I mean, you name it. We tried multiple therapists, counselors, and she would always get to a point and just stop, and then when we decided to go back, she wouldn't go back to the same one. She wanted to start with somebody else. She never would pick up. She just wouldn't push through the hard part, and it just haunted her, and at some point with just alcohol was introduced, and it just took hold. We ended up separating in 2013 for about 4 months, and that I think intensified things with her. But through a miracle, from God, we ended up getting back together late that year, December of 2013, and that's when we got reintroduced. We started going back to CFA, Concord First Assembly, which is now Multiply Church. We turned things around and walked through a very hard pregnancy. I mean, it was tough trying to get things back together and work through things, and after being separated. But we did well until after the baby was born, and then the alcohol she went back to alcohol, and a couple of rehabs that failed and didn't take hold, and at some point it was just a point where we had to separate, and they ended in divorce. My daughter passed first. It was August of 2021. When she passed, she was 2 weeks shy of turning 20. She was a phenomenal girl, super strong, physically strong. She really was a strong girl as well, like nervous and quiet and reserved, but not scared of anything, not scared to go do anything. She was just in love with God, genuinely. And loved church, loved everything about church. She loved kids, loved babies, and wanted to study to be a missionary. She had just got accepted to Southeastern University, which the satellite campus at Concord First Assembly or Multiply Church. She had moved out of our house, been gone about 5 days. I think it was 5 days when she had her car accident. Just no real way to describe it. Complete shock. And we didn't have a lot of time to grieve because about 6 weeks later, my ex-wife had really sent her into tailspin as well, and things got much worse for her, and she had a car accident, and she lived about 3 weeks in ICU and passed. So yeah, just a really hard 2 months for our family. Sometimes it's hard to see what's ahead in life. Easy to get blindsided sometimes, and sometimes our circumstances can cloud our vision. Going through different things in life, sometimes you just, as you're walking through things, it's easier just to close your eyes and pray. And it's very similar in how it relates to my job. We're going into a zero visibility fire. We close our eyes and feel our way through things. When we're diving, we close our eyes and we feel our way through the atmosphere we're diving in and the lakes. And you know what I've leaned on through the things I've been through is closing my eyes in prayer, and how God has really shown up for me in those moments, and saved me, rescued me from those what those things could have done to me. They could have destroyed me. I could have allowed those things to destroy me. It's a work in progress, and he keeps showing up and healing. Recently, I had a conversation with Addison, and she asked me if I've ever blamed God for anything that's happened to us. And I'm like, no, I've never blamed him. Have I asked why? Absolutely, hundreds of times. Yeah, I've always known he was real, never questioned that. And he was real in my life when I was young. It's like I walked away for a little while, then it's just I came back and I'm like, man, I'm all in. Like, don't do everything right by any means, but I'm trying to walk it out and do the right thing. And he just keeps showing up. You know, he's always there. The Footprints poem, you know, is means a lot to me because I feel like it's real in my life. There are times I look back and there's no way I walked through that alone. He was there.